Hello everyone, welcome back to another 2v2 Warhammer battle. This is going to be Bretonnia and the Wood Elves versus the Dwarves and Chaos. For my army, we have a pretty weak infantry force, just a front line of men-at-arms. I have 1 foot squire, 1 man-at-arms, and then 2 basic peasant bowmen. These were made specifically to fight Shaggoths, in case those were brought. Then for my bulk of my army is going to be the Fan Enchantress with 2 questing knights, a Grail Knight, and then a Grail Guardian over here on the flank. We also have a Vanguard deployed Green Knight who is on his way to cause some trouble. For my Wood Elf player, we have 4 Vanguard deployed Way Watchers. We have the Spellsinger, I'm sorry, Branch Wraith, my bad. Then we also have 3 Glade Guard being led by a Glade Lord on a horse, I believe. Yeah, on a horse. And then behind those we have some Eternal Guard without the shields, and then we have 2 Wildwood Rangers over there. For the Dwarf player, over here we have a generic Dwarf Lord, we have Longbeards with great weapons, 2 Dwarf Warriors here, 3 additional Dwarf Warriors over here, Thunderer, 2 Grudge Throwers, Cannon, 3 Dwarf Quarrelers, and then back here we have more Dwarf Warrior and a group of Hammers kind of spread out. And then for the Chaos player, we have Archaon the Ever-Chosen, Exalted Hero, Chaos Armored Trolls, a group of Chosen here behind the Quarrelers. Then we have 2 Chaos Warriors with great weapons, 2 Aspiring Champions, 2 Chaos Warriors with halberds there and way over there for some reason, and then a Hell Cannon deployed, which I think is on the very front of their line. So when the battle began, I immediately just ran my Green Knight over here, and I was like, you know, let's just do some damage to the cannon. Because I was thinking to myself, you know, the chance, since we were fighting the dwarves specifically and not the, what's Belagar's faction, the Iron Hammers? I can't remember. Whatever. Since we're not fighting that one, the chance of fighting any kind of magical damage is pretty low because the Chaos can only bring Archaon, Big Bird, and Aspiring Champions. Aspiring Champions I can run away from easily, and no one ever brings Archaon or Big Bird. But before I actually looked at what the army brought, they obviously brought Archaon the Ever-Chosen, who does magic damage, and who can destroy a Green Knight. But again, I kind of send any forces that I need to in before I start looking at the army. So I sent him in, I start moving, and then I look at the army and see what they have. I'm looking for magic damage. Then I was like, no fucking way. So you can see movement orders here. They actually brought Archaon the Ever-Chosen. I almost never see him brought. It's always like, what's his name? The Shaggoth guy. I can't think of names right now. So right here, for like the next 30 seconds, I'm trying to spam move orders. In 2 hits, the Quest Knight is already at half health. Luckily enough, I am going to get away from here. With only getting 2 hits from Archaon, and 2 more hits and my Green Knight would have been dead, and there goes 2,300. Meanwhile, these Way Watchers did a ton of damage to these Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and now they also wiped out the Hell Cannon, I believe, very quickly, because it was just kind of out here by itself. There it is. And now they're going to start focusing on the Thunderers, I believe, and I'm getting the Green Knight out of here. I'm getting my Knights up, my infantry's coming up, but they're going to get destroyed. Just hammered by these Grudge Throwers. The Cannon, I think, actually is firing over here. But the Grudge Throwers, I think, are firing over here. The Quarrelers are going to be hammering me, and then the Thunderers are going to be taking some shots as well. But these are very cheap men-at-arms. They are there to die, basically, and disrupt people, so we're just going to run them in. Archaon is now withdrawing, and I'm like, oh, shit, Green Knight, that was close. Who brings Archaon? I seriously almost never seen him. And then, meanwhile, over here, the the Chaos Warriors with halberds are getting hit with Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, which I don't think did all this damage. I think most of this is the Way Watchers dealing damage to them, because I've never seen Melkoth do that much damage. But now they are currently being kited by enemy archers. We have a front line of Eternal Guard in the front line there, and you can see the Chaos Trolls going to come in like, I'm going to see what they do. My infantry is just getting massacred, and I'm trying to funnel them in one at a time through here to get through this opening to try and filter out into these Grudge Throwers. I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop. And they're like, yeah, alright, so we're going in single file, bypassing the Dwarf Warriors. Meanwhile, my Knights over here are going to be going around. I have the Green Knight going into these Thunderers because now Archaon is over here fighting against the Wood Elves, which is, woohoo, thank God. Now the Green Knight is free to do whatever the hell he wants, so he's disrupting those Thunderers. The Dwarf Lord is going to be on him for basically the rest of the battle. And now I'm going to start filtering my Knights the same way that I was doing my infantry. You can see they're just going one by one because the Dwarf Warrior, or the Dwarf player, they just... Dwarf players, I've said this before, but their micro is usually not that good. It's always Dwarf players like this because they want to pick a faction that doesn't need to move that often. And so I maximize that weakness. And I've already got a man-at-arms back here against these Grudge Throwers going into the Quarrelers. I have more infantry over here against the Cannons. And there are all these frontline dwarves right here, but they just left this giant gap, and I was just like, bloop, 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 bloop. Just a casual bloop through, because I didn't need to rush. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I know these Longbeards are here. I know these Hammerers and these Dwarf Warriors are here. But I'm just like, alright, funnel single file, friends. We're going to go, instead of taking a wide route to try and get these Quarrelers, I'm like, fuck that, dude. Let's just go through the center. So like, bloop, 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 bloop. And we are going to be successful. Spoiler alert. We're going to run around these Hammerers and all these Dwarf Warriors. and then we're gonna get into these Quarlers. In the meantime, the Archers were just wrecking the Chaos Warriors up here. The Eternal Guard are also doing a really good job. Archeon's trying to get into the Archers, but there are a lot of them. Meanwhile, we have the Glade Lord over here, I think, firing into Archeon. My Peasant Bowmen are just firing into the Quarlers, and, oh no, they're firing into the Grudge Throwers, trying to shut them down as quickly as possible. And we are just now into the Quarlers with our Quest Knights. We're going to get more charges back here with the others. My Grail Guardian is going right up the middle to the Thunderers, and then we're going to disengage away from these Hammers. We do not want to engage the Hammers, but I'm going to leave the Green Knight here. Meanwhile, I forgot to throw the Fey Enchantress into combat. I think I actually leave her, like, right here. I think I wanted to throw her against these Dwarf Warriors, but I forget, unfortunately. But it didn't move for some reason. Meanwhile, over here, I'm going to keep these two routed Men-at-Arms nearby my Archers in case Archeon or anybody gets close by. And right now, I'm just focusing on cycle charging. We're pulling out our horses, and we're just doing charge after charge and pulling out charge after charge. I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop. Pulled the Grail Guardians through those Thunderers over here, and I give them another move order soon? I can't remember. I think I was so focused on doing cycle charges over here that my micro back here is kind of faltering a little bit. But right there, Archeon does get focused down by all of the enemy archers, and so he is now dead, which is kind of crazy. And we have just routed those three Quarlers. We are dealing a lot of damage to those Thunderers. I'm just doing the cycle charges against these Longbeards with our Quest Knights and Grail Knights. We're going to hit from them on the back. Meanwhile, my Men-at-Arms is just going to tank these guys in the middle. Green Knight's just taking so much damage over there. And we still have a Dwarf Warrior that's not in combat. I think I send the Fey Enchantress into combat soon. I can't remember. But besides that, she's casted a couple heal spells. She's casted the armor spell, which I took by mistake. But I'm casting it, I think I cast it on like a knight at some point and on these Men-at-Arms at some point, or the Foot Squire at some point. But yeah, the Chaos Army is now basically destroyed. They were dismantled by a bunch of the archers, and the Eternal Guard held them in place. And during this entire battle at this point, the Chaos player was spamming WTF, WTF, just line after line after line. And very soon they're going to say, archers are bullshit, what the fuck, elf player, and then they're going to leave the game. Archers are bullshit. So there you go. You heard it here first. Archers are OP. Quickly. That is, if you bring a very slow army that can't catch them, then yeah, they can be pretty strong. And the Hell Cannon, which could have done a lot of damage, was destroyed very quickly by the Vanguard deployed Way Watchers. So yeah, the Chaos player just got dismantled by all these archers, and they were very, very, very upset, and they wanted us to know it. And then again, I think at this point they left the game because Archeon's dead and they have nothing left. Meanwhile, back over here, we still are dealing with the Dwarves. They have some Hammers, some Dwarves, Warriors, some Thunderers. The Green Knight is still just tanking the Lord. At this point, I think I disengage him and do something else with him. We're going to do a charge here with some Questy Knights. I think these Questy Knights. Yeah. Into the Dwarf Warriors. Our Fey Enchantress is going to get in there. Archers just pummeling these Dwarf Warriors, doing rear charges here on these Dwarf Longbeards over here. We're going to do more charges soon. Actually, I think we get these Grail Guardians over, and I think we go into the Thunderers here soon. And maybe do another charge with the Grail Knights. So basic Men-at-Arms chasing off some Chosen, which is pretty funny that some cheapy peasants are chasing off Chaos Chosen. Do another heal spell here for my Knights as we do a rear charge on these this Dwarf Clump. And now with the help of the Wood Elves, we are destroying the Dwarf Warriors up here on the front line. And there goes some more Grail Knights for another charge. And so yeah, my micro really suffered back here with some of my infantry that was just kind of sitting in place, like these guys right here. My Fey Enchantress micro suffered a lot because I was really focused on cycle charging with all of my Knights. Because these Knights, at least, unless they're a Grail Guardian, which one of them was, you just want to do cycle charges over and over and over again, especially when it comes to Dwarves, because you need to break them that way. And so it kind of worked out. Focusing on the cycle charges, I think, was more beneficial than trying to focus on more micro for my Men-at-Arms, who mostly died. They came across Quarler and Grudge Throw Fire, and they didn't like it at all. You can see here. The Foot Squires held on. The Men-at-Arms held, I think, to the very end. They just sat there, helped routed some Quarlers, and then tanked a bunch of Hammerers and shit for a long time. So that was really good. Cycle charging here with all of our Knights. You can see they didn't get dealt much damage. Well, that's also because I healed them. But they also dealt a lot of damage to the enemy. Green Knight held up the Dwarf Lord, Thunderers, and then some other units for like the entire game. So close I was able, or so lucky I was able to get away from Archeon. Oh my god, that was so scary. Losing a Green Knight that early. From my Wood Elf ally here, the Wildwood Rangers. I don't think did I say they have Wildwood Rangers? Well, they have Wildwood Rangers. They did excellent against the Chaos Warriors there. They just have armor piercing and they do really good. The Glade Lord 39 kills is really good. The Eternal Guards held them in place, and the Archers just did so much work in this battle. For Kith Kanan, Dwarf Warriors got some decent kills here. The Runesmith as well. Hammers, I think they really only killed some men-at-arms, the polearm version. And then the Coilers did massacre my front line for the most part, but we were able to shut them down. And I think most of the kills for these are also against my infantry and my allies' infantry too. So nothing too crucial, luckily for us. Archeon netting 41 kills is pretty good. Exalted Hero 49 kills is really good. Chosen did, I'm sorry, Aspiring Champions did pretty good. But besides them, the Chosen got some kills. But yeah, that like their army just got totally dismantled from all of this range fire, and they were so upset. It's like, have you never came across a Wood Elf army before? This is pretty standard. Like, you either get a tree-heavy army with like Durthu leading, or you can get a very archer-heavy army. Although this is really archer-heavy. 4 Weight Watchers and 3 Glade Guard, one of which had the Starfire Shafts. That's really archer heavy, but it worked out. Dwarves are slow, and the Chaos didn't bring any cav or any really fast units to stop them, so I didn't need to protect them. My ally didn't need to protect them, and they were just free to rain death. So again, hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. Let's watch a cinematic view of this fight. Let's see how fast this Hell Cannon drops to 4 Weight Watchers. Drops pretty fast, as it turns out. When Weight Watchers are able to just deal damage, I still don't think they're worth it, but they did do a lot of work in this battle, that's for damn sure. They massacre those, this heavy armored force. So I don't know, I guess maybe they were worth it in this case. Facing off against Dwarves and Chaos. Now, if Chaos had brought a more meta build with all the Shaggoths, this would have been a little tougher. Those Shaggoths would have been on these guys quickly, and they would have routed them almost instantly, and there goes like 4+ grand. Oh my god, look how close these guys got to these Chaos Warriors.
Run back to your goal.
There they go, now they're running. My men-at-arms just getting massacred by Coilers. And here we go in single file. Single file, lads. Silence those cannons. There we go, Green Knight silences the guns, clearing the way for the Knights to come through this little choke point. Oh, you know, they got their guns back out. Oh, you know, I didn't notice this. He actually distracted me, so I didn't... Oh, well. It worked out. Spirit charges of the Wildwood Rangers over here. Man, that Chaos Army just melted so fast.
We obey! Immediately! Charge! Full haste! To victory! Post haste! For the king! Onward! Immediately!
Now about to rout these Chosen. Now, normally you can leave Grail Knights just kind of embedded in the middle of infantry, but the thing is, against all this dwarf anti-armor, like, that's pretty risky. That's why I was kind of moving them so as much as I even was. Man, we weren't even really fighting the hammers for the most part. Well, I guess now we're starting to, but... Oh, they got one shot off.
Damn the spellcasters!
Yeah, like the hammers, I think they barely touched us and we barely touched them. They were just kind of embedded amongst all these dwarf warriors, not really doing too much. Unfortunately for them, because they could have hurt the knights quite a lot. But again, hope you enjoyed, everybody. I will see you all in the next fight. Take care.